Residents of Kuruman in the Northern Cape are hoping that President Cyril Ramaphosa will address their service delivery and unemployment challenges. Ramaphosa is expected to address the district development model presidential Imbizo in the Taolo Gaetsewe district on Thursday. Amongst other concerns, the Imbizo aims to listen to the concerns of residents and hopefully offer solutions to their problems. For decades now, the village residents have been pleading for a tarred road. They say Ramaphosa is their only hope. Suading residents insist all they want is a commitment on when they will have running water and electricity, while young people say unemployment is a persistent concern. Let's rope in SABC News Reporter Neria Hlakotsa, who joins us now to unpack some of these very pressing issues. Neria, very good evening to you on the eve of President Cyril Ramaphosa speaking to residents in the Northern Cape, addressing their very pressing concerns, some concerns which have really been happening since the dawn of democracy. What are some of the expectations ahead of the President's address tomorrow?
Good evening to you, Mpho. Well, residents here in the Taolo Gaetsewe district are clear that they really want the President to give them a way forward in terms of how he plans to create jobs for them. And I think the issue of jobs for them is very key, because if you see this area, this is a mining area, it's a mining town. So most of them are hoping that the President could be the middleman between them and the mines. They are wondering why the area has mines, but still they find themselves unemployed. So that is one issue that they want the President to address. And another issue that is pressing here, as I was saying to you, that because it's so rural, so you can imagine the state of the roads in this area. They are bad, and when I say bad, it means that they are gravel roads. So they are saying that they are tired of living like this. They can't take this issue of gravel roads anymore, and all they want is tarred roads. And one of the people or the community that we spoke to, I will tell you that we've been speaking to that community for years now, and all they've been getting are promises from the provincial government that that road will be tarred. And this is one of the roads that they consider the main one, which goes to their villages. And that is basically how it looks to most of the villages around here. The people are just asking for the bare minimum way they can be able to use the roads, because the effects of that are dire. Like they would tell you, when it rains, they are unable to go to clinics. Kids are unable to even go to schools. So those are also the issues that we're putting. And speaking also of clinics, they are crying for clinics. They want more clinics in their areas. Some of them are relying on mobile clinics, and they're saying it's not efficient. It's not efficient. So most of the people here have their hopes high for tomorrow, and they're hoping that when the President gets here, with all the ministers that are responsible for the various portfolios, there will actually be a tangible difference in their lives as soon as they leave, because they're saying they've been crying for years to the provincial government, but they haven't seen any changes. So hopes are very high ahead of the President's visit in the Taolo Gaetsewe district tomorrow.
The ANC-led Gaetsewe local municipality, that is still led by the ANC. And as you speak of some of these pressing concerns, what stands out is that some residents say their only hope is President Cyril Ramaphosa. And of course, we're speaking at a time where elections are just in a matter of days. Does that point to confidence in the ANC, or do some of the residents feel like it's time to change their options insofar as who they're voting for?
And that's an interesting question, Mpho, because it's really tricky when you hear from the ground. The people are unhappy with their government, but when you try to find where they are leaning to, they just want government to make things right. Nobody is really outright disgruntled in terms of, I want to make change, I want to change government or this. They are mainly just saying, can we get things right? Of course, there are those who are also saying that they've been crying for too long. It's time for change. So you get mixed views when it comes to that on the ground but you can hear that the crux of it is that whichever party manages to garner enough votes come the 29th of May, that party needs to bring change to their lives, because what they are currently experiencing is something they don't want past the 29th. But when it comes to seeing where they are leaning towards, they are very, how do you say it, they're very strict on that, or they're very closed when it comes to that. And I think because most of them are also still deciding what to do, as you can see also parties are still going out to the villages. There's volunteers that are coming out, and they acknowledge that, look, the president is a president of the ANC, but what we are saying is that he must not only come here under the banner of being the president of the ANC, but being the president of South Africa, a president that cares for the people. So the overarching thing here for the people is that they want change. It cannot be business as usual anymore. And like we know, these elections are one of the elections that everybody's waiting for, and they are also saying themselves, as we're speaking to them earlier, they say they're also anxious for them, because they are hoping whichever vote they do will actually bring the changes that they want in their households. Their votes will actually make sure that they do not use pit latrines or do not use the so-called VIP toilets, but they'll also have flushing toilets. They're hoping their votes will also have will ensure that they have electricity. So here it's people wanting change, and we tried to push further, but some of them are just saying it is immaterial to them at this point. They just want to make sure that the elections are on that light when they get home.
The elections are definitely highly anticipated. As we look to what is going to happen tomorrow, insofar as logistics are concerned, when the president is expected to arrive, and how this Imbizo is set to take place, how much information do you have?
Well, at this current point, when we see the posters and just speaking to the various communications people, it is expected to start around 10. That's when people will be trickling in. And then obviously the president then will also be there with his ministers. And it's a big event. We went to actually go see the marquee itself. Everything, the stage is set, everything is ready. It's just a matter of people coming tomorrow and the president with his ministers arriving, and people are saying that they're keen and they will not miss that opportunity tomorrow to have their voices heard during the Imbizo.
Very well. Let's leave it there for now. SABC News Reporter bringing us up to speed on some of the expectations and the sort of climate as the president is set to arrive in the Northern Cape for an Imbizo. SABC News Reporter Neria Hlakotsa giving us those details.